Hey guys, and welcome back to Smart Money Minds. Chinese tech stocks, Chinese education stocks. Is it time to buy? They're getting cheaper and cheaper by the day, and we are seeing some pretty low prices. And is it a time to get into those stocks and hold long term, or even is it time to find a good trade on those stocks? In today's video, I'm going to give my analysis and my opinion on these stocks and let you know whether I think it's a strong buy or a strong sell or don't touch at all. I'm going to show you some of the technical analysis that I'm looking at, and also I'm just going to give you a attempted trade that I made on one of these stocks. So stay tuned and check it out. Now, Chinese tech stocks are getting rocked this week and last week and pretty much for the last month since China has announced the regulations and just giving these companies a lot of trouble on the governmental side. So China is having antitrust regulators setting new rules against unfair competition. Tencent management is getting more regulations coming, and there's just a bigger crackdown on the education sector. So it seems like the government is just trying to overhaul a lot of these sectors, and these stocks are being strongly affected. So we know that BABA got a major fine a few months ago. We know that the education companies in China are supposedly going non-profit, according to the Chinese government. So these stocks are just getting slammed. Everyone's getting fearful, and it's quite scary if you're holding on to these stocks because you just see it red, red, red. Now, Warren Buffett has always said, be greedy when others are fearful. But you have to also remember that Warren Buffett looks at value stocks. So these are stocks that these are companies that basically have great fundamentals and are just looking for a little more time for their stock prices to develop. A lot of people are saying, everyone's fearful of Chinese tech and Chinese education, and there's these companies have great fundamentals, but you have to realize that just because people are fearful doesn't mean that it's a good buying opportunity. So these Chinese companies may be strong fundamentally and financially, but the government in the country that it's governed in is very unpredictable. So there's too much overhang from regulation. So my opinion is we need to wait and see what's going to happen. And it's okay to be a little late getting into an uptrending stock than trying to get into a falling knife stock and you see red and it's just not going to be very good for you. I'm just going to do a quick technical analysis on why I don't think it's a good time to get in right now on just a bunch of these stocks: BABA, BIDU, DIDI, TME, TAL, BILI, and IQ. Now, we're going to look on a bit longer time frame here. BABA is the biggest player, I would say, in Chinese tech stock, Baidu and BABA. And BABA here is almost back down to this range here, 130. And that's a major support range. Another major resist or support range here around the 200 mark, that broke cleanly through. And what was concerning is that on the weekly chart here, we had a doji candle, a hammer candle. So this signaled reversal, but the next week and the week following that, there was another doji, more bear volume, and we had another bear drop. So this became a weekly bear flag almost. So a couple patterns developed here. We had a falling wedge that never broke bullish. We had a doji, a possible doji, and outside of the third deviation that basically traded flat and collapsed. And now we're going back to a 1-to-1 Fibonacci retracement here almost. Now looking at Baidu here, we had a very good zone here at 170 range that acted as a kind of average zone where it should be trading at. So it came through here, traded in equilibrium in this range, came back as support, came back as resistance, broke through here. But look at this, we had a move coming down, came back as support, came back as support, came back as support. We had a descending triangle here, and now it broke bear with increasing bear volume. Now the next zone that I may be looking at is around this 115, 120 range that may act as a level of support, but I'm going to wait and see because there's still a big gap here that could fill in this zone, and that's a pretty big zone. Close to, if I start from here, close to 15% just to get back in this 115 area. Now JD, we had a bullish reversal hammer here right off the golden pocket on this range, and you see here this was a range of support as well right over here, but now we're right back to testing the lows. So it just doesn't look very good if we have a test here, no bull follow through, and back to the lows. TME is quite simple. It went from all-time high to all-time low, and look at the increasing bear volume here. We had consistent bull volume moving all the way up here, but look at this major drop, and look at the bear volume compared to the growing bull volume that brought it all the way up. Now TAL, we had from $91 back to $5 here, so that's a huge drop. We're back to pretty much black dirt levels. It broke all support levels here all the way through here. We had a couple of bounces around this 48 zone here, another possible bounce here, but just another bearish push all the way back down. Now BIDI here is a little bit better chart compared to the rest. We had a high, higher low, and lower high, lower low. So this could be an ABC move here if you look at Elliott waves. So this could be an ABC move, but it's also coming all the way back down to the 0.786 with strong bear volume. So we would just want to be cautious at this point. Now we're gonna look at IQ, and I'm gonna look at DIDI as well. So IQ, you see how this support range at $14 was super strong, and it broke through, and now it's black dirt. That means it's at the lowest prices that it's ever been. And last but not least, we're going to look at DIDI. Same thing's happening. We have a double bottom test, and bear volume is still very strong. Looking at all these charts, why would you want to buy a chart that just keeps making lows and lows and lows? I mean, yeah, you can say that there's a lot of fear, but let's look, for example, here. We had a chart that went from high, and it started breaking down, and it went from $9 here all the way to 2 cents or 20 cents here. So why would you want to buy something that's continuing on the downtrend? Now, here's a trade that I made on BABA, and here's the reason why I made it. So we had an abandoned candle set up, a possible volume climax, and we had the daily candles out of the second deviation and touching the third deviation. Here, let's take a look. So what I had here was we had a descending wedge breakdown, okay? But we had multiple gap downs, and I was thinking on Thursday here that we would have a possible volume climax abandoned candle setup. So I was thinking this is the abandoned candle right here, and we're gonna have a green day, and likely we're gonna test the daily 8 EMA, which is this blue line. And we were in quite oversold territory here. The 1 hour was oversold, 4 hour was oversold, and we were looking in here. So I bought in here at 161.30, thinking to scale into a small position, thinking we're gonna have a push up to back to around the 170 mark. And if you pull a Fibonacci, let's say from here to 03, 170 would be around the 0.382 mark, and we would have a nice abandoned candle push back up, and that would be my short-term trade. It was going to start pushing with good volume. It was going to give me a possible bull flag, if not a higher low, and likely on Monday we would push back up to around the 170, 174 zone. But on Friday, look exactly what happened. It got bought up very nicely in the first 30-15 minutes here. We had a push up, hit right here, which is the 0.238 or 236 right here on this move. And we started fading. And I moved my stop to break even because I knew that this is a counter trend trade. So I set my stop break even, and we had a fade the entire day. And good thing I stopped out, because look at this selling. It looks very, very algorithm selling all the way. Look at the 5-minute EMA. It never broke over it. With my scale and entry, I knew that I had to take a stop because it didn't work out the way I planned. And this is the problem with downtrending stocks, is these moves, these bullish moves, don't last very long. In conclusion, my verdict here is, why trade or invest in crappy stocks when a lot of them are in black dirt, all-time low prices? And think about it. Let's say you scale in, like what I tried to do, is maybe you scale in a little bit and it goes a little bit lower, and you buy a little bit more and it goes a little bit lower. How long can you sit in the red for? You're losing out on a lot of opportunity costs on charts that are uptrending. Just why not wait for a clearer sign? Rather be late than early on these stocks, because if it starts curling and starts giving you a nice move, like now, for example, let's say if we have BABA here, we have some divergence. Let's say it starts curling here and starts giving you a higher low and perhaps a higher high. Think about it. On the weekly, that move is very, very insignificant. I mean, if you look at the daily, that move is very insignificant. So it could be a longer term weekly uptrend that's trying to develop. So it's okay to be a little bit late. Our goal is to make money. I don't care if the company is doing well or whatever, but the chart tells me that it's not doing well. So I'm going to wait until the chart tells me differently and gives me a uptrend signal. In the comments below, let me know if you are holding on to any of these Chinese tech or education stocks. Are you averaging down and scaling in, or what is your game plan here? And if there's a chart that you're interested in, but you don't know too much about the technical analysis, let me know in the comments below as well, and I'll take a look for it, and I'll shoot you a comment and let you know what my thoughts are. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this video, and we'll see you guys next time.